Good morning. Wanting to share a little bit again about the value of doing work in the unseen and what we call spiritual energy or energy healing. And I work from a model, a created platform based on the galactic history, our star families, why we're here, why we came to the planet, what happened to us, way beyond just planetary. So, what I share with you is definitely about accessing the unseen in order to impact and improve what we have going on in our physical life. So this is a woman who came to me who is stretching into the world in a bigger way, has a dream, has a vision of what she wants to do. And she's really excited about that. And all of a sudden, she just sore throat, pain, and of course, immediately, what she thinks of is this COVID, and she checks out the symptoms and goes to get a COVID test, which is totally appropriate. And in the meantime, she says, check it out and see what you get as far as the energy component. So I did. And that's what I want to share with you. So I go into a quieted place to check in with her energy fields and ask, what is it that we're dealing with? This is a very simplified information of what we do, but it's what the kernel of what I want to share with you. So I ask, when did something happen in her life that triggered this energy to begin showing up as a physical symptom? They said it has triggered was about 4 days ago. And in sharing with someone in her world, in her female circle, about this excitement about what she wants to do, how she wants to stretch into her life, what she felt from this other woman was no reaction. Not necessarily a downer, but just like no reaction. So for my client, it was like almost like emotional pain and then into stress very quickly. Emotional pain, I'm not supported, and into stress, which then went into a physical symptom. Okay, that makes sense. That happens. So, what is going on? That's what's important. So, going into the quiet, I ask if there's any aspect within her body that knows about this pattern and an aspect of herself. It's called soul integration when we do this work. Comes forward and says, I know what's going on." And she's she's talking too much. She's stretching too big, and 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 she told me an aspect of herself to bind her, to keep her snug and tight and small. So I'm doing that. I say, okay, yes, you're doing a good job. Are there more than you? They said there are 10 lifetimes where she has had experiences, and in those lifetimes given an aspect of herself, the command, job description of binding her, of keeping her small. And these are not in physical lives. Some of them I could see were fairy lives. She's from a Nordic tradition. So she had different kinds of aspects of herself that had promised to keep her small by binding her. Okay. So I said, well, you've done your job well. You've kept her small. She's tried to stretch. She keeps collapsing it. But now she's really ready to stretch. So the question they ask me is, but will she and I and us, will we be safe? Because we're not going to participate in the unbinding if we're not going to be safe. So I said, absolutely. You will be heard, you will be respected, you will be valued, because what you have to contribute, what she has to contribute, is magnificent. So with that assurance, they said, okay, we'll listen to you. So we brought all those aspects from those other lifetimes together, like a board of directors into a council place where she and I came and said, we have a different way to be absolutely safe, especially as women, in bringing our voices and our visions and our designs out into the world. And we asked them, what did you learn through these years, lifetimes? What did you learn that you'd like to tell us? And they said, we learned that there is a presence on the planet, there was a presence in our lives that was committed to the destruction of us as women, as females. And we didn't know how to deal with it. So the best we could do is to turn our voice off to make ourselves small. And we said, you're right. You're right. There is such a presence, and we are aware of it. And we have restored the original plan of how to deal with such energies because they were known when this planet was first inhabited 600,000 years ago. But that knowingness got subverted, discounted, and hidden. We are here to restore it to you. So we had them gather and we brought around them in imagination the golden dragons of Mother Earth Gaia, because it's happened to her too. We brought around that circle of women who are spiritually prepared, knowing what exactly it was that souls in female bodies were to do in order not just to stay safe, but to break the spell, if you will, to break that voice of destruction. And that is beyond knowing, discerning that there is a force that would destroy us, that there is a force that wants to keep you, your vision, small. Beyond that, the authority of what I call Sophia, the voice of the sword of wisdom and clarity, that is women's power coming from the solar plexus. So we restored that sword of authority to speak not acceptable in my life as it regards any energy of discounting, dominating, to harm, and have that voice heard and acted upon from legions in the unseen, legions in the unseen, to surround that energy, neutralize it, identify it at its very subtlest frequencies, contain it, and move it back to its home of origin, not just out of her space, not just out of my space or your space, back to its home of origin, there to be sealed because that agenda is no longer acceptable anywhere in the entire galactic worlds of Laniakea. That was what was needed because of this pain in the throat. Now, if that energy of imbalance, the trigger, has deteriorated, you know, anything in the throat itself, Western medicine will figure that out. Her alternatives will figure it out and bring it back to health. But without that energy piece, there would have been no ability to bring and restore energy because those triggers, those storages, those other lifetime energies of trauma, of pain, of contract were stored in the area here. They might have submerged and been quiet, then they'd flare up again. I hope that helps you understand how important it is. Like Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, you must understand energy, frequencies, vibrations. If you want to understand wellness, health, balance, change, you must understand energy. Blessings and have a wonderful, wonderful day. My email is below in the descriptions. I have a website. You can explore energy information as much as you want to. And I'm always presenting options to learn more and dig deeper. So join my email list. Blessings.